Hi, I'm Grant DePorter. I'm the CEO of Harry Caray's restaurant group. We're at Harry Caray's legendary Italian steakhouse. It opened in 1987, and it was named after the legendary Hall of Fame broadcaster for the Cubs, Harry Caray. In the early 1930s, the Caravetta family bought the building. The Caravettas were Frank Nitti's in-laws. Frank Nitti was known as the enforcer for Al Capone's gang. So years later, we kind of looked around and started finding little bits and pieces of Frank Nitti's, being a part of this building. 11 years after we bought the building, we found a hidden room in the basement. And once we did that, we started finding other things and, getting deeper and deeper into Frank Nitti's involvement with our building. An electrician was trying to run a conduit to get from here to the other side of the building. So he was going through over here, this way. And there was a wall right here, and he poked a hole through this wall. He found a hidden chamber. Right above the hidden door is the address book that I had found buried in a wall that has aldermen's home phone numbers, elected officials, and a bunch of mobsters' home phone, on top of the original criminal court file that had all of Nitti's subpoenas. We're down in the secret Nitti vault, like underneath the building. The tunnel system was down here as well. This secret room used to be connected to the underground tunnel network that was in Chicago, that was famous in the early 90s for flooding. But you could end up going underground here, past the Merchandise Mart, underneath the Chicago River, and even show up underneath City Hall if you wanted to. But you can come and go from this room with never being seen on the Chicago city streets. So this would be a very easy way for Frank Nitti to get in and out without people seeing him, especially with the courthouse being, kitty corner across the street. We have a safe that we found in another room that was buried behind a wall. Hunter Walton was a company that was just after the Chicago Varnish Company had control of the building, but right before the Caravetta family had it. But the safe ended up moved in, and it was hidden behind a wall. I opened up the wall. The safe was locked. So I ended up having to get a safe cracker to come in and break through. So he gets through the first set of doors, only to find there was another set locked doors. He gets through this, and then he had to break this one open. And we get to the inside. Unfortunately, we did not find any money, but we ended up moving the safe over here, and then just to kind of be part of our collection. Also going to Nitti's apartment right here. And over here is a door that would get to the attic where Nitti could watch from above what was going on at the courthouse, get on the roof. But it's also, if he wanted to kind of smell some fresh air, he could just go upstairs without being bothered by anybody or the police. So let's go up and see what we see. Rooms upstairs as well. In the early 1990s, Walter Payton was in our dining room, and I told him that Frank Nitti used to live here and he had an apartment on the 4th floor. So Walter thought that was really neat and ran up 4 flights of stairs to see this, and he gets to the door and he's thought this was the coolest thing ever, and he was imagining that these must have been caused by the police trying to break in to get to Nitti. He ran up and down the stairs 5 different times with different groups of people trying to give his own tour of Frank Nitti's apartment, and he's the one that kind of created the inspiration for the Frank Nitti Museum.